If you're looking to buy an 8th Gen Civic Si, good for you. There are a few things that can turn this into a great project or a complete money pit. I'm talking bad transmissions, oil leaks, cars that look clean but definitely are not. So before you buy one, here's exactly what to look for, what to pay, and how to avoid some expensive mistakes. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about price ranges, because this is where a lot of first-time buyers can get confused and might end up overpaying for something. So here's roughly what the 8th gen market is doing right now and what you can expect in each of those ranges. $10,000 and up. These are usually low mileage collector cars. You'll see things like FD2 Type R conversions, Mugen variants, and extremely clean examples. These ones are low mileage drivers that'll rip all day long if you've got the money. But if you want something to build, and I'm kind of thinking you do, you don't need to spend this kind of money. Cars at this range aren't project cars. They're fanatic cars. $10,000 to $6,000. So at this range, you're gonna get some really good cars with some basic blemishes, but nothing you can't handle. You'll see quality mods and upgrades, proper cold air intakes from Hybrid or K-Tuned, suspension from Fortune Auto or upper level BC coilovers, wheels from Koenig or Enkei will probably be fitted as well. Clean K24 swaps will live up here too. You'll also run into supercharger kits or turbocharged K20s at this price point. Clean titles for sure. Do not accept a branded title at this price range. But again, not really a project car. These are more like commuter cars for enthusiasts. $6,000 to $4,000. So now we're in the sweet spot. I actually bought mine for $4,200. And at the upper limits of this range, you're gonna find some really good drivers with cosmetic blemishes and small to medium mechanical issues, but nothing you're not gonna be able to handle with a basic set of tools and some help from YouTube. You'll have oil leaks, bad bushings, missing trim pieces, but nothing major. Just go in with your eyes open and your tools top of mind. And remember, you're not buying value here, you're building it. So $4,000 and under. This is where things can get interesting or spicy. So you'll often see high mileage, so over 200,000 miles is common. Branded titles, that's not a deal breaker at this price point. Insurance companies will total these cars for really minor accidents. You'll see worn suspension, tired bushings, questionable exhaust setups. Our old nemesis, the straight pipe, is gonna show up at this price point. But if you're willing to wrench a little, there are still diamonds in the rough to be found. And if you stick around until the end, I'll share some of the first mods you should consider. So those are the price ranges, and depending on where you land within those ranges, you're going to be dealing with very different kinds of problems. So let's talk about what you should actually be looking for when you see one of these in person. And if you're into project cars that are more fun than perfect, you found your people. That's exactly what I'm doing here, so join the party, subscribe. So no matter which price range you're shopping in, the first thing you're going to want to understand is what kinds of problems you're inheriting. With the 8th gens, a good place to start is oil leaks. There's 3 common spots, and they're all on the back of the engine. So the first place you want to check is the VTEC solenoid, and then the oil cooler right beneath it, and then the valve cover gasket. And it's the valve cover gasket on the back side of the engine. For whatever reason, that's where it likes to seep oil. So checking for these leaks is pretty easy. Get a little flashlight and look for anything shiny. That's usually oil. Or if you can, get a hand back there and feel for anything wet. If you see a bunch of oil on the back of the motor, those are usually the cause. They're not catastrophic, but they're worth checking. Now, some oil leaks are normal and no big deal, but others are a whole different level of commitment. If the oil pan is leaking, that's a bit of an issue. If you see a ton of buildup on the bottom of the oil pan, that's usually the cause. Dropping the oil pan is no joke on the 8th gen. Rear main seals, also not a fun job. Look for motor oil on the seam between the motor and the transmission. So both of those leaks require a lot of work. That's subframe out, transmission out, Saturday ruined. Once you've got a handle on leaks, the next thing you want to check are axle boots and suspension bushings. These cars are old enough now that rubber components are wearing out. So you want to look for cracked axle boots, worn control arm bushings, loose or broken suspension components like end links. So these are easy things to fix, but they are good negotiation points. You're also going to want to check your wheel bearings. So listen for that hum or the whir on your test drive. I'll be honest, they kind of suck to change, but they are DIY-able. I'll actually link a good bearing puller set in the description below. So once the suspension checks out, the next question is, how does it actually feel to drive? And that's where the transmission comes in. The 8 gens have one of Honda's best manual gearboxes, but high mileage cars, they can develop worn synchros. Pay close attention to your shifts between second and third gear. If there's any kind of hesitation or grinding, that could be a sign that your synchros are wearing out. Sometimes fresh transmission fluid helps, but eventually that gearbox may need a rebuild. At a minimum, plan on changing the trans fluid. Get the good stuff from your local Honda dealership. It's surprisingly cheap, and these cars can be particular about their trans fluid. If the car drives well, you're in a really good spot. Most of what's left is cosmetic. There are a few common issues you'll see. The biggest one is paint. Honda paint from this era sucks. And many cars are going to have fading clear coat or really dull paint. So you can live with the bad paint, or try to patch it with aerosols like this, or go the two extreme routes. Wrap it or respray it. I'm actually planning a partial respray on mine, so pray for me and stay tuned for that. The most common wear point in the interior is the driver's seat bolster. It collapses and tears over time. It's not a deal breaker, just something to expect. The stock steering wheels can get pretty rough as well. Once you've handled the basics, leaks, suspension, transmission, you got something really important, a solid foundation. And that's where these cars really come alive, because now you get to build it. So if you're starting from a solid baseline, here's exactly where I'd spend my money first, and in this order. Tires. Good tires transform these cars. You don't need anything crazy, just a good, sporty tire. There are great options from Continental, Nitto, Falcon, Hankook. You don't need to go wild here. Find a good summer or sport tire. These cars are relatively light, under 3,000 pounds, so a nice, sticky-ish tire will feel awesome. So once the car grips, the next thing to pay attention to is how it stops. So that's brake pads. The stock brakes are actually pretty good. Fresh pads will make the pedal feel much more responsive. A common brake mod is to upgrade to the TSX caliper. It gives you a bigger pad option, and a bigger pad means more stopping power. If you're hitting the track, I would suggest swapping in some .4 brake fluid. That will handle the heat much better and is a pretty cheap and easy thing to do. And once you can accelerate and stop confidently, now you want the chassis to keep up. So you'll want to consider coilovers. Suspension upgrades are one of the best ways to wake up the chassis. Look for mid-tier options from BC, Teen, or Fortunato. There are budget options from Raceland and Max Speeding Rods, but just go in with your eyes open with those. I'm actually considering doing a driving test on Max Speeding Rods. Throw me a comment if you'd be interested in seeing something like that. And once you start pushing the car harder, heat becomes a real factor. So the stock radiator is a plastic single-core unit. An aftermarket aluminum radiator is pretty cheap and a worthwhile upgrade. Like most motors, the K20 does not like getting hot, so upgrading your radiator is really good insurance. Couple honorable mentions here. Number one, wheels. Wheels can dramatically change the look and feel of a car. I haven't changed mine yet, but it's at the top of my list. The 5x114 bolt pattern is really common, so there are tons of options to choose from. They come with 17s, but you can easily size up or down. A good rear sway bar will help the car rotate in corners. That's a great mod for track focus builds, but for a street car, it's not as necessary. And once you've got those basics handled, you've got a car that's ready to do whatever you want. The key is simple. Buy the cleanest one you can afford and commit to the maintenance. You take care of these cars and they'll reward you with years of fun driving. If you're still deciding whether the 8th Gen Civic Si is the right project car for you, I actually made another video breaking down 10 reasons why this is such a great platform to build. So check that one out next. And if you like this video, consider subscribing. So thanks for watching, guys. Keep getting after it, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh no. Are you still there?